Here's a number most people have never heard of, but it predicts how long you'll live better than your cholesterol, your blood pressure, or your weight. It's called VO2 max. It's the single best measure of your cardiorespiratory fitness, the maximum amount of oxygen your body can take in, deliver, and burn when you push as hard as you possibly can. Every breath pulls oxygen into your lungs, your heart pumps it through your blood, your muscles burn it for energy. VO2 max is the ceiling on that entire system, how much oxygen you can move per minute at your absolute limit. A higher number means a heart, lungs, and muscles that work better together. And in 2018, researchers put that number to the ultimate test. The Cleveland Clinic tracked 122,000 people who had taken a treadmill stress test, then followed who lived and who died. The results were staggering. The least fit people were 5 times more likely to die over the study than the fittest, 5 times. To put that in perspective, the survival gap between the bottom fitness group and the top was larger than the gap between having heart disease and not having it. Being unfit wasn't a minor risk factor sitting quietly in the background. It was, statistically, one of the deadliest conditions they measured. And unlike your genes or your age, this is a number you can change. But before we get to how, there's an even more uncomfortable comparison the data forces us to make. The researchers lined up low fitness against the classic killers: smoking, diabetes, high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, and low cardiorespiratory fitness carried a mortality risk equal to or greater than every one of them. Read that again. Being out of shape was as dangerous as being a smoker. Then came the finding that broke the conventional wisdom. For decades, people worried you could be too fit. That extreme endurance might damage the heart. The data said the opposite. There was no upper limit to the benefit. Even the elite performers, the top few percent, had a 23% lower risk of death than the merely high fitness group right below them. Fitter was always better, all the way up. So the science is blunt. Raising this one number is among the most powerful things you can do for your lifespan, which makes it all the more tragic that most people spend their cardio chasing the exact wrong target. You've seen it on the treadmill display in the fitness app, the fat-burning zone, a gentle, low-intensity pace sold as the optimal way to burn fat. Here's the kernel of truth it's built on. At lower intensities, a higher percentage of the calories you burn comes from fat, peaking at around 64% of your VO2 max. That part is real, but here's the sleight of hand. Percentage is not total. Burning a high percentage of a small number can still mean burning very little fat. Picture 2 workouts. One burns 100 calories, 70% from fat. That's 70 fat calories. The other burns 300 calories, only 40% from fat. That's 120. The lower fat percentage workout burned nearly twice the fat. And that's exactly what the research shows. In one landmark study, a high-intensity interval program burned about half the total calories of a long endurance program, yet produced 9 times more fat loss per calorie spent. The zone isn't wrong because fat isn't burned there. It's wrong because total energy, not percentage, is what actually moves fat. So if not the fat-burning zone, then what? Building VO2 max comes down to 2 ingredients. First, a base of easier aerobic work to grow the engine, more capillaries, more mitochondria, a stronger heart pushing more blood with every beat. And second, regular doses of genuinely hard effort that push against your ceiling and force it upward. It's the hard intervals, the moments where you're truly uncomfortable, that raise the number the most. The good news hiding in all of this: your body is extraordinarily responsive. VO2 max is not fixed by your genes or frozen by your age. It is one of the most trainable numbers in all of physiology. And it will start climbing within weeks of asking your heart and lungs to do something they're not used to. And that's the part that should change how you think about this. A low number today is not a life sentence, it's a starting line. People in their 60s, 70s, even 80s raise their VO2 max with consistent training. The very system that predicts your lifespan is the same system that responds, fastest of all, to being challenged. So forget the fat-burning zone. Forget the fear of doing too much. The evidence points in one direction. Find your hard a couple of times a week and keep showing up. You're not just getting fitter, you're moving the single number that more than almost any other shapes how long and how well you get to live. If this reframed how you see your own cardio, subscribe. Next, we break down the strength half of the longevity equation.